Hello, Brenda. So glad that you can be here. Glad that you can make it for our IEP meeting for to discuss Rasheem's progress. Um, he's been a wonderful student throughout the semester. I just would like for you to know that first. Rasheem really tries. One thing I can say about him is that he has a full heart and his smile lights up the room. I don't get the smile all the time, but he definitely tries hard and I appreciate that his focus is there. So thank you again for coming in. Again, I'm Ms. Plummer. I've reached out to you before. So let's just go over a few things to discuss for his progress at this point. Okay, so pretty much here, a few general observations. I spoke with his English, math, and history, other teachers as well. So he doesn't show much interaction within class. His participation, unless he's called on, that's pretty much the only time he will, participate. He's very quiet, introverted, as I'm sure you know, and he just doesn't really show interest in the coursework. I know he's very hands-on. He's expressed that to me before. He's into the sports and anything that he could just basically create with his hands. He leaves the classroom quite often for restroom breaks, and just the distraction is easily there. I know he's had an IEP on file for since he was 5 years old, so I know this is nothing new. But again, now that he's a senior in high school, he's pretty much needing all his credits in order to graduate. So I'm here for you. And even though he's taken several of the standardized tests and he's still below level, I do believe we can still get him up to par and where he needs to be in order to graduate. So that's a few things as far as the general observations. A few assessments. His strengths, he loves to use technology. He does have the same speech tutor that he's had for the last 4 years, so he is very comfortable with her, I will say that. Because they've had that experience with one another, he's able to open up to her and get advice from her, and she assists him as well with Play-Doh, which is the online technology he's able to use to help him complete classwork. Again, his strengths, again, are anything with his hands. Now with history, math, and English class, there's not always so much we can do to create a hands-on environment, although we do, but it's very comprehensive based, and a lot of the studying is what he needs to continue to jar it in. So we want to build up his attentiveness, basically. We want to help him with note taking and extra homework, in order to build those areas of need. We provide him with extra options for homework. We provide him with extra testing study guides because we really want to give him that advantage to have what he needs to succeed and to graduate on time. Okay, so pretty much for the lesson plan that I created to help him, it was a lesson plan on the civil rights movement, and I pretty much just wanted to build an interactive platform for him in order to build his comprehension, because that's the main area that he lacks, is his ability to retain the information, his reading. Those are the main areas that's been assessed that he falls below in. So with the history assignment, I created, it was a Little Rock 9. It was basically a point in time during the civil rights movement where the students were asked to, after the laws were established so that students could be integrated into the schools. So I wanted to build a foundation where he could reflect personally. And I actually noticed that it was helpful for him because he was able to utilize his personal experiences to help him understand what they were going through, which internally caused him to understand the assignment. So that was very helpful. So again, my goals were to build the interaction, cause self-reflection, and provide him with guided notes in order for him to obtain the information. A few things I did to pre-assess. It was very informal. It was open discussions. I basically asked him, what did he know about segregation? What did he know about the civil rights movement? Could he mention any names? Did he know of any famous events that occurred? So many to choose from. But again, you don't know where students are and what they have. So basically, he stated a few general things. He mentioned Martin Luther King. He mentioned is racism and that blacks and whites couldn't be together. So I kind of left it open so that we could discuss and talk together. And I pretty much encouraged him. That's absolutely correct. You're in the right place. you're understanding exactly the time period I'm referring to for this history class. So history is not always boring. I wanted him to understand that. And there's a lot of information he can get from it. So I wanted to build on that. So with what I knew, he understood. I got into the lesson plan, and I basically provided paperwork about the program, the article. It was an article with pictures, and it just had a lot of information with vocabulary terms that he was probably not aware of. They were highlighted and the pictures. So not just was he able to read the article, he was also provided with self-guided notes. And the self-guided notes allowed him to so the self-guided notes will have questions. What happened with the Brown versus Board of Education? What was the result? What was, who were the 9 students? What were their ages? What was the end result? So while he's reading the article, he's also able to answer questions along the way. And I realized that helped with the comprehension, because not just did he have to read a long, boring article, he was provided with pictures and questions along the way. So that helped tremendously. After the article, we actually presented a 10-minute video. So that had a brief synopsis with footage and things like that. So he got to see, what the governor looked like, and the security that was out there, the way they were actually insulted and attacked, and how they held themselves together, and just things they experienced. So it was very useful for him to see it like that. So after that, to post-assess him, I asked him what is his feelings towards it. How did he feel? How did it make him, how does he feel after that? So I said, for homework, you could write me a journal entry stating how would you feel if you were a part of the Little Rock Nine. When you go home, do you cry in your bed? Do you feel empowered to go back? Do you want to give up? So we pretty much had that discussion. And he was open. He was very open to it, and I was very excited about that for him. Lastly, we did a program called Kahoot, and it's very popular. It's an assessment where a lot of people do it nowadays. It's multiple choice, and it allows you to answer questions. So I was able to put in a few questions, and random answers, and he was able to do it, answer questions, multiple choice. So it allowed him to think about all the answers and all the different options. And I even saw a smile on his face, which was amazing. So it showed interest, it showed comprehension. And he actually scored an 80% on the assessment. So that was very, very good for him. So I was very excited about that. So just to wrap up, I do feel like there's great potential in Rasheem. I know he's going to be great. I had a wonderful experience with him implementing this UDL lesson and seeing him interact and reach out in ways he hadn't before. He will graduate, and he'll be great. If you need to reach out to me, feel free. Plummer at teachingsuccess.edu. Okay, I'm here for you. We're going to see him through this. Okay. Thank you, Brenda. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.